The Amazon rainforest stretches across 9 countries in South America, a vast emerald sea that covers more than 5.5 million square kilometers, an area larger than India. Long before maps and borders, this dense tangle of trees, vines, and rivers formed the beating green heart of the continent. Here, life evolved in staggering diversity. More species of plants grow beneath its canopy than exist in all of North America, and 1 in 10 known species on Earth calls the Amazon home. In the beginning, millennia before humans arrived, the forest's ancestors were born. Rivers shifted, seas receded, and the Great Basin dried, then flooded again, carving waterways that would become the Amazon River and its countless tributaries. In these shifting landscapes, plants and animals adapted in isolation, giving rise to jaguars that learned to swim with powerful strokes, poison dart frogs whose bright colors warn of lethal toxins, and butterflies so innumerable that their migrations darken entire valleys. Giant kapok trees soared toward the sunlight, creating the cathedral-like canopy that shelters a world of creatures most people will never see. When the first humans entered this realm some 11,000 years ago, they found a land richer than any other, an ocean of green offering fruits, nuts, fish, and medicine. Far from living merely as passive foragers, these early peoples shaped the forest. They planted useful trees, cleared patches for crops, and built villages on riverbanks. Archaeologists have uncovered massive earthworks, geometric mounds, roads, and canals, revealing societies that flourished here long before European explorers arrived. Legends speak of cities with stone walls and riches hidden beneath layers of forest, their secrets swallowed as the canopy reclaimed them. In 1541, the Spanish explorer Francisco de Orellana became the first European to navigate the full length of the Amazon River. He wrote of forests so dense that daylight barely reached the waters, of tribes wielding poisoned arrows, and of fierce women warriors, images that would fuel myths of an Amazon wilderness both wondrous and terrifying. Word of this great river and its boundless forest spread through Europe, inspiring dreams of El Dorado but also dark fears that the jungle would swallow any who dared enter. Centuries passed with only the river's currents to connect the forest with the outside world. Rubber trees, whose sap could be transformed into the elastic material now spreading across the globe, became the Amazon's first major commodity. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, rubber barons drew workers and fortune seekers from around the world. Towns sprang up along rivers, steamships carried latex to waiting markets, and the forest trembled with axes. Within decades, the rubber boom collapsed under competition from Southeast Asia, leaving abandoned settlements and shattered ecosystems in its wake. As the rubber trade faded, cattle ranching, logging, and soybean farming moved in. Roads cut deep scars through the forest where none had existed. Colonists settled, eager for land, and government policies encouraged clearing and used tracts for agriculture. In some regions, entire swaths of primary forest fell to flames each dry season. With every year, the Amazon lost trees at an alarming rate, trees that had stored carbon for centuries and regulated the climate far beyond South America. Scientists warned that if deforestation reached a tipping point, the mighty forest could transform into savanna, a collapse that would release vast quantities of carbon and dim the world's green heart. Yet the Amazon is not just a resource to be harvested, it is home to more than 3 million indigenous people speaking over 300 languages. For them, the forest is a living library of medicine, food, and spirituality, an inheritance passed down through countless generations. Their knowledge of tree bark cures, hunting trails, and seasonal cycles is as intricate as the root networks that bind the forest floor. In recent decades, indigenous communities have organized to defend their territories, winning legal recognition in many areas and partnering with scientists to study biodiversity and monitor illegal logging. Around the same time, conservationists and governments began to act. Protected areas and national parks sheltered key regions. Sustainable development projects demonstrated that people could make a living from harvesting nuts, fruits, and rubber without cutting down the forest. Satellite monitoring allowed near real-time tracking of deforestation, shining a spotlight on illegal activity. International efforts to slow climate change placed a new value on the Amazon's role as a carbon sink, bringing funds and attention to preservation efforts. Despite setbacks, the forest has shown a remarkable capacity for resilience. Secondary growth fills abandoned clearings, rivers teeming with fish carry nutrients downstream, and species adapt to changing conditions. Jaguars have been recorded crossing roads at night, tapirs browse the regenerating understory, and flocks of parrots return to plant groves once again. In some regions, scientists working with indigenous guardians have reintroduced rubber and Brazil nut harvesting, restoring both livelihoods and canopy cover. Today, the Amazon stands at a crossroads. Rapid infrastructure projects, dams, highways, and mining operations threaten to fragment its great expanse. Global demand for soy and beef continues to drive new clearing. Climate change brings longer droughts and more intense fires, weakening the forest's natural defenses. Yet the story is far from written. A new generation of scientists, activists, and indigenous leaders is weaving together traditional knowledge and modern tools, drones to map illegal logging, databases to catalog medicinal plants, and social media campaigns that connect global consumers with the fate of the forest. The world watches each satellite image of choked air and smoldering fires, but also the heartening snapshots of reforestation projects and community-led patrols along riverbanks. Every seedling planted recalls the forest's ancient capacity to regenerate. Every successful legal action to protect land echoes the wills of those who first shaped this living tapestry. The Amazon rainforest remains more than an ecosystem. It is a testament to life's tenacity, a cradle of culture, and a mirror reflecting humanity's choices. As the sun sets over the sprawling canopy, rivers gleam like silver threads weaving through endless green. Night orchids open in silent celebration, tree frogs trill their nightly chorus, and the gentle rustle of leaves reminds us that, for all its fragility, the Amazon endures. Its story is one of deep time and urgent challenge, a challenge to safeguard this wild wonder for the countless species and peoples whose lives depend on its continued breath.